Well, the BRICS group of countries is well positioned to support South Africa's Industrial Policy Action Programme, so says Trade and Industry Minister Rob Davies on the final day of the BRICS summit in the Russian city. He told reporters that there's a willingness from member countries to invest in the productive sectors of the economy. Well, Liabo Setho joins us from Ufa in Russia. Liabo, good afternoon. Today is the last day of the summit. Minister Davies says the country's industrialisation plan is gaining support from member states. So what form of support will this take?
Devon, the Minister of Trade and Industry, Rob Davies, says that South Africa will look to BRICS to advance its industrialization policy action plan. He says that there's a range of investment opportunities that lie within the BRICS grouping. And he spoke of the example that was made earlier this week during the opening of the summit when one Russian company and another South African company collaborated in order to do business together. He's given a couple of examples of how this investment is likely to work.
We've seen automotive manufacturers from China now joining the pool of automotive manufacturers in South Africa. We see, for example, Marco Polo involved in bus body manufacturing. There are railway contracts as part of our infrastructure build, which BRICS countries are participating in. And I think these are all examples of things that we think we need to build on.
Now, Liabo, the big agreements coming out of this summit are the training and awareness memoranda on nuclear energy. We've seen this announced earlier this week. Today was that big briefing to the press. Any more details on what came out of these negotiations and signings?
Well, in actual fact, this happened yesterday where two memorandum of understanding was signed between Russia's Rosatom and South Africa's Department of Energy. Their plan is to bring about 200 South Africans to Russia to be trained on nuclear development. This is part of the agreements that have been signed during the summit to advance cooperation between the countries. There's also a number of important agreements that were tabled and adopted and a few signed. We also had the first meeting just before the summit. And of course, the most important thing was the establishment of the bank during the summit. The first regional leg of the bank is set to be hosted, or rather housed, in South Africa, in Durban. We will find out during our later bulletins on how this new development bank is likely to work. But it's been quite encouraging here at the summit to see the number of cooperations that have been signed to advance trade amongst the BRICS countries, to advance economic cooperation amongst the 5 grouping countries. It looks like this group, Devon, is really poised for growth. And they really want to make sure that this group works and is advantageous to all the countries that are involved.
Well, we'll leave it there. Liabo Setho reporting for us from the Russian city of Ufa.